Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news in the world of the NFL, where every game counts and every decision can define a season. The Green Bay Packers find themselves at a crossroads. As we inch closer to the trade deadline on November 4th, the whispers and rumors are growing louder, hinting at a potential blockbuster involving one of their key linebackers, Key Walker. Now I know what you're thinking. Walker has been a promising young talent, a Georgia product with elite sideline-to-sideline speed, a real game-changer when healthy. But the Packers have been navigating a tricky cap situation, sitting on roughly $9 million in cap space, and the team's depth at linebacker has become a talking point among analysts and insiders alike. Let's unpack this a little. Green Bay is currently sitting at a solid 5-3 record, which is respectable, but their linebacker core has been somewhat surplus to requirements. They've got Edgerrin Cooper emerging as a promising player, and with Walker, who's been a bit inconsistent due to injuries, like the rib injury in Week 7, there's a sense that the Packers might be willing to part ways to free up cap space and acquire draft capital. The idea is to get a third-round pick in the 2026 draft in exchange for Walker, which could be a smart move for a team looking to rebuild its secondary and add depth to its defensive line. Now, why would the Falcons be interested? Well, Atlanta is currently 4-4, and their linebacker unit has been hit hard by injuries, with 3 players currently on IR. They're looking to bolster their defense, especially at the LB position, where Walker's speed and sideline-to-sideline coverage could be a game-changer. Walker's athletic profile is impressive. Just 25 years old, a product of Georgia with 320 tackles, 5 sacks over his career, and a solid 76. 4 PFF grade. His speed is elite, running a 4.52 40-yard dash, which makes him ideal for the Falcons' scheme, especially as they look to improve their run defense and pass coverage. Insiders like Adam Schefter highlight that the NFL trade deadline is a key driver of speculation, and with the Falcons' need for a boost on defense, Walker could be exactly what they need. The Falcons' defensive front has been solid but inconsistent, especially in run stopping, where they've seen some struggles, and adding a player like Walker, who's capable of 130 tackles and perhaps a few interceptions, could help them turn things around. Not to mention, Walker's presence would complement their current linebacker duo, Troy Anderson and others, adding speed, versatility, and a fresh energy to their linebacker core. But it's not just about the Falcons. The Packers also see the benefit in this move, even if it feels a bit like a luxury at this point. They're cautious about overcommitting financially, especially with cap space tight and the emergence of Edgerrin Cooper, who's been looking promising with 75 tackles so far this season. Letting Walker go could save them around $7 million in cap space and give them valuable draft picks for a rebuild, especially on the secondary, which has been a target area for improvement. The Packers are in a position where they need to be strategic, building for the future without sacrificing too much of their current competitiveness. And let's talk about what Walker brings to the table. The former Georgia Bulldog has been a force when healthy, with a career total of 320 tackles and 5 sacks, showcasing his ability to be a sideline-to-sideline missile. His 2025 stats aren't too shabby either: 82 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a PFF coverage grade of 78. 9. His run defense is rated at 82, and his EPA per target sits at -0.35, indicating he's effective in coverage and in stopping the run. In 2024, he racked up 118 tackles and 5 sacks, proving he's a high-volume tackler capable of making plays all over the field. Of course, injuries have been a part of his story, like the rib injury in Week 7, but when healthy, Walker is an athletic specimen. His speed and coverage ability make him comparable to some of the best linebackers in the league, such as Roquan Smith, who had a huge boost for the Bears last season. Walker's athleticism allows him to excel in pass coverage, which is increasingly valuable in today's NFL, where tight ends and slot receivers are becoming more prominent. His 2024 stats show he's a coverage LB who can also contribute to stopping the run. something the Falcons desperately need given their recent struggles in that department. Now, considering the impact on the Falcons, acquiring Walker could be a real turning point for them. Projected to rack up around 130 tackles, 3 interceptions, and an increase in run-stopping efficiency, possibly boosting their stops by around 11%. Walker can be the kind of player who elevates the entire defense. His addition could help stabilize a unit that's been battered by injuries and inconsistent play. His speed and coverage skills would be a perfect fit in Atlanta's scheme, especially as they try to contend in a competitive NFC South. The Falcons' front office is optimistic about this move, viewing Walker as a potential X-factor that could push them into the playoff picture. With his ability to cover sideline to sideline, he's like a panther stalking the field, and his presence would take a lot of pressure off their aging defensive line, which has been somewhat inconsistent. Walker's ability to prevent big plays and his knack for making tackles in critical moments could be the difference-maker in tight games down the stretch. His addition would help them get back to their aggressive, fast-paced style of defense, emphasizing speed and versatility. For the Packers, trading Walker might seem like a tough pill to swallow, especially given his potential and the fact that he's only 25. But in today's NFL, cap management and draft capital are crucial tools. The decision to move on from Walker could be seen as a strategic retooling, emphasizing building a more balanced team that can compete not just now but in future seasons. With Edgerrin Cooper stepping up and the secondary needing reinforcements, the Packers are evaluating their options carefully. They're aware that overcommitting at the linebacker position might not be the smartest move long-term, especially if they can get valuable draft picks that could help them shore up their defensive backfield or add depth to their pass rush. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the broader picture. The NFC North is a division that's constantly evolving, and the Packers are no strangers to making bold moves to stay competitive. Whether it's acquiring draft picks, developing young talent, or adjusting their roster mid-season, they've shown a willingness to be strategic and sometimes even bold. Moving Walker could be just that, a bold move aimed at balancing their cap sheet and securing future assets. Meanwhile, the Falcons are eyeing their window of opportunity, trying to capitalize on their current 4-4 record and make a push for the postseason. The Super Bowl odds are also a factor here. The Falcons, with Walker, could see their championship odds shift from around +10, 0 to +7, 0, making them more attractive as a dark horse contender. His presence might be the piece they need to elevate their defense just enough to make a deep playoff run, especially against teams like the Saints, where stopping their prolific backfield and passing game is crucial. Walker's ability to change the game on defense could be the difference in a close playoff game, something the Falcons are certainly hoping for. All in all, this potential trade encapsulates the NFL's essence: strategic, fast-moving, and always about seizing the right moment. For the Green Bay Packers, it's about balancing their roster, cap space, and draft assets to keep themselves competitive while building for the future. For the Falcons, it's about adding a talented young linebacker who can step in immediately and help them contend in a tough NFC South. As the deadline approaches, fans on both sides will be watching closely, wondering if this move becomes a reality or just another rumor in the swirling storm of NFL trades. So what do you think, Packers fans? Are you okay with trading Walker if it means more draft picks and cap flexibility? Or do you see him as a vital part of your defense moving forward? The NFL trade deadline always brings surprises, and this year looks no different. One thing's for sure, both teams are betting big on their strategies, and the outcomes could reshape their seasons. As always, we'll be here to keep you updated, breaking down every move, every decision, and every game that could define the future of your Green Bay Packers. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think losing Key Walker is the right move for the team's future? Or are you hoping the Packers keep him, believing he can develop into a cornerstone of your defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.